precious building.
You are more than the air
I close to my heart.
see her face and notice she sees.
Your reflection is more than you see. You are more than a phenom, lasting essence longer than eons in the plateau that we on.
Thank you for tuning in to the Poetic Property Podcast. I am your host, Kamplexx, the poet, father, author, and entrepreneur. Glad to be back. Glad to be coming back consistent. You know, we're posting the pods. Hope everybody has enjoyed the last 2 episodes. We're back for a 3rd episode in a row. I had to tell myself that no matter what, I got to keep recording or keep attempting to record regardless of how I feel. I really haven't been feeling well. Like I said last week, it's just I've been going to the doctor, like kind of getting my health stuff in order, but it's just like bad news after bad news after bad news. And just trying to mentally just overcome that, plus dealing with the medicine that I'm on. I don't know if it's trying to regulate my body. I don't know what's going on, but it causes extreme fatigue, causes me to be nauseous, and just my stomach just tore up. So it's just been a real headache like the past week, just trying to realign my body. But it is what it is. Like I said last week, it's gonna get better. I hope it's gonna get better. I'm gonna keep on doing what I feel like I need to do to keep it going. But it's just like I said, I'm just tired. Like mentally, I'm just exhausted. I feel a little bit run down. It's just like I overexert myself in attempting to help others, and it's really draining sometimes, and not even in a negative way, but just one of those things that you just need a recharge. But for me, it's like I'm not a person that allots myself that time to recharge. So it creates all these spirals of exhaustion, of frustration, of just irritation and all that. And it affects me, it affects my kids. It's just one of those things that I'm continuing, even at 38. I'm trying to learn how to prioritize myself before everything, because when you're a person like me, a giver, an empath, just a mentor, all these things you give, and unfortunately, you don't always get that. Like being in the position that I am and being who I am, it's a selfless act, and I'm fine with that. Until it's time, I'm fine with it, but then it comes a time to where my body breaks down, and I just have to just isolate. I have to sit down. I'm forced to sit down, because that's just how our bodies work. When we are overworked mentally, physically, spiritually, everything will shut down if you don't shut down. So it's important, as I'm saying this out loud, I'm more so saying it for myself as a reminder for me to continue to not feel bad when I have to prioritize myself, not feel bad when I have to isolate myself and limit conversations, and sometimes just cut off conversations in general, just so I can make sure that I am replenishing the energy necessary for me to do what I'm supposed to do as a man, as a father, as an entrepreneur, as all these things, just making sure that I have that energy. So last week I was telling you guys that I keep getting this bad news health-wise for my doctor, and it's just a frustrating thing to where I don't even know how to feel. You understand me? It's like I am a man beyond anything. I am a human being, and for me, it's difficult for me to tell people like what's really going on, because it's one of those things that people think you want pity, and I am not a person who wants pity, who wants sympathy. I just want understanding. Like I tell people all the time, like I can't get sick. Like if I get sick, it's like I'm sick, like hospital sick, like can't move, like body ache and stuff like that, because I have so many issues that I've health issues from that I was born with, from things that accumulated with age, from things that that I caused myself through heavy drinking or overexerting my energy, stressed out all the time. So it's just like so many things that I'm battling that at one time is just a lot. Um, it's like I have to remind myself of this. I can't continue to be everything to everybody when nobody is nothing to me. I'll die. I can't keep on, like, I know the Bible says better to give to receive. I know, um, like the saying is, don't give people nothing you expect to get back. I've always thought that teaching your kids, like, treat people how you want to be treated, is really that's really a weird thing to teach your kids, because it's like nobody's ever going to treat you how you treat yourself. I get the logic, or I get the meaning behind it, but it's just one of those things that you just have to learn as you're growing up. It's not mean to care for yourself first. It's not mean to put yourself before anything. Sometimes you got to put yourself before your kids. You got to put yourself before your partner. You got to put yourself before your parents, your siblings. You got to put yourself before all these things. And I am learning that late in life. More so, I'm understanding it later in life. Like I'm 38, like I said, and I'm still working on the emotional part of putting myself first. Um, I'm working on the emotional side of that, because you get to this thing, and you're so used to giving, you're so used to um, being there for people, right? And then it's like you're exhausted, your body breaks down, and you look to the left, look to the right, and nobody understands. For a person who is struggling with depression, it turns into, how can I say this? It turns into a situation where now I'm beating myself up, and I'm having those moments of, I'm giving too much time. I'm giving too much energy. I got to save it for times like this. I got to save it to where I can replenish myself when needed, and then not be a complete recharge. When I did the lantern release, when me and the family did the lantern release for Kennedy, that took so much energy out of me. It was so painful for whatever reason. Like I said, that hurt more than actually losing her. When I say it took almost everything out of me, like, I'm talking like only wanting to be in the bed, being able to get up to work, that's it. Make sure the kids eat, that's it. Stuff like that. You feel bad, right? A person like me, you feel bad. It's like, oh man, I got to get up. All right, I got to make sure the other kids are good. I got to make sure I do my best at work. I got to make sure I'm on my social, speaking to my social media friends. I got to make sure that I'm texting this person and that person, so they don't feel like something's wrong or whatever. And then it's like, for what? Because people don't understand. People don't, like, I go out of my way to understand people. This is why I say that treat people how you want to be treated. It's the weirdest thing to me, because I go out of my way to treat people how I want to be treated. I'm heavy in understanding. I'm heavy and patient. I'm not a person that wants drama. I'm not like I said that many podcasts ago. I'm not a drama filled person. I'll walk away, but I don't get that same. I feel like I don't get that same reciprocation, and I know a lot of people feel like that. And you just don't understand. It's because you are becoming your own worst enemy in the midst of a battle that you, and like I said, a person that is struggling with mental health, a person that is just struggling with relationships, having some parental issues, having just cabin fever, this whole pandemic, all that stuff plays into part. And on top of all that, you getting on yourself when you need yourself the most. I know that sounds crazy. I said a few podcasts ago about creating a village, and sometimes it's very hard to create the village because the village just doesn't understand. They just don't. Not that they are incapable, not that, it's difficult. It's just that they don't. A lot of people will not go out of their way to have a level of understanding. They won't go out of their way to make sure they know why you are feeling the way that you feel, that why you are reacting the way that you're reacting. A lot of people won't do that. That's why it's a very slippery slope dealing with human beings, because for whatever reason we're built to compete and debate everything. And I know I'm not the only person that is aware of that, but it's just the way that, excuse me, it's the way that we're built. It's the way that we're structured mentally. It's the way that we are structured as a society, is to debate everything, to compete with everything. And so I can't tell you something's wrong with me without you telling me something's wrong with you. I can't say, hey, this is how I get through whatever, or this is what bothered me. Everybody, it's always I understand, but. And for me, I believe in myself a lot. So I'm at the point in my life that I don't care about your perspective. And what I mean by that is, I understand you, but you have to see it like this. But you have to understand. Well, why are you not looking at it like this? I'm done with that. I'm done with that because I've put in the work to see the different perspective. I put in the work to understand it. I put in work to not have angry responses, be peaceful. No matter what's done to me, I've made it my business to remain peaceful for myself, because I don't have a cutoff switch. If I respond in anger, it's anger. Like, word to Cardi B, forever. That's just how I am. But now I'm learning to, all right, that's not good. That's not good for me. And walk away. I don't care why, but it's not good for me. That's one thing that, as I'm battling all these different things, it's the surety of understanding that's not good for me. I don't need to see it in a different way. I don't need to try it again. I don't need to read the fine print. I know that doesn't work for me. I got to get away from that. I know that person doesn't understand, and doesn't care to understand, I got to get away from that. We tend to allow people to beat us down, and I'm not talking like berate us and degrade us and stuff like that. I mean, like, even in a regular conversation, when you are unsure, you don't believe in yourself, you always will make yourself invisible in a crowd, right? And I want to take my time with this, because I'm learning this. I'm really learning this in real time, just observing who I am, just observing what I'm trying to accomplish, just observing what I'm trying to teach the kids, right? So you will try to make yourself invisible, or you do make yourself invisible in a full crowd, because you don't believe that your value is important, right? I know I'm valuable, but a lot of times it's like, am I that valuable? Like, if I move to a different country, if I move here, like, will I be missed? And that stuff sets in on you, because you start equating who you are by what society standards say that you're supposed to be, right? You're supposed to be, you're supposed to have all these savings. You're supposed to own this. You're supposed to have taken this many trips. You're supposed to be happily married. You're supposed to have these kids. You're like, why? Why are you supposed to do all those things? What if I didn't want to do all these? I mean, for me, yes, that's all I ever wanted to do: be a good husband and a good father. Like that's it. Besides poetry, and playing the trumpet, like really, really playing the trumpet, that's all I've ever wanted to do. That's all I've ever I wanted to be a good husband. I wanted to be a great father. That's what it was. And then life happens. You go through these things, and you understand that everybody don't understand that. And everybody, dang, you got so many kids, huh? Man, that couldn't be me, because I want to travel. I want to do this. I never had, and I know that this it sounds crazy. I never had like this need or want to travel. I have friends that travel around the world, different places in the country, and I live through them. I get excited when I see that, because that's not something that I ever wanted to do. I've always been a person, I didn't take my first flight until 2002 or 2003. I'm certain not because I couldn't afford a flight, but because there was a fear, right? On top of a fear, I never had a want to go anywhere. It wasn't until, my ex-wife was like, yo, I want to move. And I'm like, all right, whatever. That's what you're supposed to do. You're going to get married. You go and you figure out where you're going to have your family at. And then you go, and that's what it is. You just keep going on what society says. And the more and more you make these moves, the more and more you forget who you are. The more and more you start trying to stick to the script. I got to get this type of job because my friends have this type of job. I got to get this kind of car because this is what kind of car people my age have, yada, yada, whatever. And you get lost. And in that, like, you just forget. You just forget who you are. You forget your value. You begin to believe everybody else's thought of who you're supposed to be. And I'm not even talking about like people as in your parents, your brothers, I'm talking like the world. Like, you don't realize how much you listen to the radio and the way that it's set up The man is supposed to be that. The woman is supposed to be that. You don't realize watching TV how often you see these typical, or how can I put it? These archaic situations of husband and wife. You see it to where, these outdated parental situations on TV, and you're supposed to be this and you're supposed to be that. And so you watch so much TV and listen to so much radio, and you're battling what you was coming in your mind subconsciously. And then what you learning, what's either in front of you, which is your parents might be married, might not be married, might have step parents, might have a single parent. So you're battling that plus what subconsciously what you're hearing, what you're seeing on TV, and it just creates this big ball of unbelief in yourself when you're not strong. I know this sounds super, super duper crazy. One of the best and worst things that have happened to me is being diagnosed with clinical depression. The worst thing is not being able to control it. The best thing is every day I fight to control it. And I learn something different about myself. I break down a new wall that I didn't understand. I break down a new perspective for myself to say, oh, got it. That's why that went left. That's why that didn't work. You should have did this, but you didn't. It forced me to focus on who I'm supposed to be. I'll share this with y'all because I've never said this out loud. I have an auntie on my mama's side, rest her soul, and I have an uncle on my dad's side, my biological dad's side. And both of them struggled with mental illnesses for different reasons. But I've always had a fear of going crazy. And for the people listening only on audio, I'm air quoting. So quote unquote, going crazy. Because once you go crazy, I've seen how we look at my uncle. I've seen how we look at my auntie, and we love them from a distance. You don't understand when you're young, they can't control it. You don't understand that. You don't understand that it's a chemical imbalance that forces them to behave the way that they're behaving. So my whole life, since I can remember, that's always been a thought that I've never shared that with nobody. There's always been a thought in my mind like, fam, I do not want to go crazy. I can't. We've never turned our back on my uncle. We've never turned our back on our auntie. Some families do. Some families will once you are a certain level of disabled, the visits slow down, the conversations slow down. For me, I struggle with communication in general. I'm a texter. I don't really like talking to people because one, I've never really, liked to, but two, I'm noticing, the symptoms of the repetitive conversation. Like now I notice it. So it's just like an insecurity now. It's like, dang, like I want to be able to have a regular conversation, but I know that I can't right now because I'm gonna keep saying the same thing. So the whole time I'm thinking like, did I say that already? Oh, this person thinks I'm ignorant because I keep saying the same thing and keep trying to make a point that I've made 20 times. And I don't know. I don't know. But people won't understand that. And I have to tell them, hey, people that I truly care about, hey, if you hear me, if I've told you, we in this conversation, I've already told you, let me know. Fam, you said that. It's that simple. I don't want you to feel like I am like, I don't want you to feel that I'm ignorant. I don't want you to feel like something's wrong with me. I mean, I know that it is, but it's just one of those things that I don't really be knowing until you say it. And because I know that, I'd rather just text. Because people don't understand. People want you to be as strong as they are. People look at you like you're the strong person. And I am very strong, but where I am not strong, I am weak. Period. There's no in between. And I do these things that I take these steps to help me. It's not about it's no longer about the next person. Anybody who is listening to this podcast know I will give my last to anybody. So I don't want to that's not something that'll ever change. That's just who I am. That's something that I feel like I've inherited, from my parents. I know that I speak about my mom and my stepdad a lot because that's who I lived with. And I feel like I missed out on a whole lot of life with my biological dad. I'm just at the point to where I just feel like the relationship will never be what it should be because him and I are both the same with communication. For one, we have the same mannerisms, the same we think kind of alike, and it's understandable. But one thing that I can say about my dad is that in the city where I grew up, he is a legend for being good to the kids in the community. I can honestly say that about my biological dad. His relationship with us, but when you in the city where I come from, you say his name, people respect him as a person who has helped a lot of kids in the community. My mom, when you speak my mom's name, she's somebody who's known for helping the kids in the community, for helping people in general. And so it's something that I have inherited, even my stepfather, that's what they do. So it's something that I have inherited just to be a person who's going to help. I'm not trying to pity you because I don't want pity. Like I have a friend right now, I tell her, if I got it, if I got it, you got it. If you need it, if I don't got it, I don't have it. But I hope it doesn't affect the friendship in general. That's how I look at things. If I'm a person that's willing to help you, especially in silence. Like I'm not a person who help you in like they film it. Look, I did that for you. You never did. I'm not that person. But what I'm learning is that I'm very specific when I open up who I'm going to help because I have to make sure because I don't have that. I don't have a high level of defense. You see what I'm saying? So when I'm open up, it's just me. I have no shield. I have no armor. So if I open up to you to be a person that's in your corner, you got to have understanding as well. You have to understand who I am. You have to understand that I'm also battling. I'm battling demons. Like you guys probably can't see it, but I have these bad nightmares, and I've been waking up with these scratches and scars on my forehead. I'm scratching. I'm fighting in my sleep, right? The nightmares are getting so bad that I'm trying to I'm trying to fight, but I am in my sleep. I'm scratching, like trying to scratch out. Right? I'm not schizophrenic, not bipolar, not diagnosed any of that. Don't have other personalities and stuff like that. I just have really bad nightmares. Past few months is the only time in my life that I remember that, waking up with scars. I mean, minus, the typical biting your tongue or your cheek or stuff like that. But as far as outwardly like scratches, stuff like that, I don't recall ever having that level of nightmares. People don't know that. This is something that I'm sharing with you because, like always, I tell y'all this is my podcast. I'm gonna be honest. I have these fights daily. No matter how hard I pray, no matter how hard I meditate, past couple months, it's just been nightmare after nightmare after nightmare after nightmare, and I've been fighting because I'm a fighter. But in those fights, the more and more I fight, the more and more I believe in me. The more and more I am not afraid to die for my peace. I have experienced, in my opinion, the worst pain that anybody could experience, and that's the loss of a child. That's the loss of a child. I think that has allowed me to put myself in a position to understand the value of peace, to understand the value of who I am. And that allows me to make sure I take care of me first. Believing in yourself is the most important thing that you have, especially when you're in the midst of trauma. The moment you don't believe in who you are and you forget who you're supposed to be is the moment that you lose. It's the moment that the battle gets more difficult. It's the moment that you begin to have a victim mentality because you don't know no better. You don't know no better. You just like I said, you just become invisible in a crowd. It could be a crowd full of people, and you remain invisible just out of fear. Just out of fear of having to be in the forefront. Like, I'm in a business where I struggle with communication and socializing, yet I need that for people to be able to hear the pod, for people to be able to, go shop at the store, for people to listen to the poetry. So it's a struggle. But I'm willing to die for my peace. And what I mean by that, I'm willing to isolate. I'm willing to exile myself so that I don't have to deal with things that are not for me. I'm willing to cut people out of my village. I'm willing to walk alone if it means that I have peace. It's not a thing that is meant for everyone. When I say, isolation and stuff like that, but you have to get to this place in your life that your perspective is what matters. When you put in the work to learn how to believe in yourself, right? It's not a place of arrogance. It's not a place of unhealthy selfishness. It's a place of understanding. It's a place of education. It's a place of studying. It's a place of overcoming, right? It's not just I'm isolating myself because I don't fool with you. Like, you're not on the level that I'm on, so I can't, like, that's arrogant. It's from a place of I know the respect that I give, so I know the respect that is owed to me. I grew up in an era where respect is earned, right? You don't just give respect, it's earned. And so I respect, and in turn, I've earned respect. So if you are not a person that respects me, and our conversations always have a, yeah, I understand, but, or you have to understand from my perspective, you don't respect me. I'm not perfect, but I go out of my way to explain when I have to. I go out of my way to explain, hey, this is my issue. A lot of people don't understand, like, and I didn't. Again, it's one of those things that I had to learn from my ex. You, in the midst of everything, you have to understand. I double back to what I said at the beginning. We're so conditioned to compete and debate that there's no understanding. I could tell you, hey, you shot me with that gun, and my feelings are hurt that you shot me with that gun. And then you're going to say, I understand, but if you would have went in the house, I wouldn't have shot you. No. You shot me. You shouldn't have. Unless I was trying, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm be logical in this thought process. Like, if I'm trying to shoot you, of course, but that's how life is. And that's how they teach us to be. That's how they teach us to be. I don't understand that. I don't understand why life is based on debates, disagreements, arguing. That's dumb. And now I understand why the elders, when they get to a certain age, they just don't care about anything. They're going to do what they're going to do. They're going to say what they're going to say. And that's just what it is. And now I understand, because something clicks as you get older. None of that matters. None of that matters. Shout out to the homie Nisi. I told her the other day, I had to ask her how old she was. And I had, because I come from an area you're not supposed to ask a young lady how old she was, but I just wanted to know. She told me how she was, and I told her, I said, you're going to be all right. I said, I'm telling you this because in a few years, this stuff that you're willing to die for, you're not even going to think about. You just get to a certain age where those things just don't matter. It's not about anybody's perspective, because now you've learned your perfect perspective. I give you respect, you give me respect. Like, once you start believing in yourself, and once you start standing on that belief in you, nothing's going to be able to change that. You're going to be able to say, all right, cool. I appreciate the time that we've been friends, but deuces. Or you're just going to be like, all right, I'm just never going to call or text that person. I don't care. I don't have no ill will, no irritation, no annoyance in my heart for nobody, no relationship, no friendship that I've ever had and lost. It's all a lesson. It's all a lesson. If you are here with me, around me, in my circle right now, you meant to be there. If you're not, then you're not. It's not rocket science. I'm not more special than the next person. But the difference is now I believe in me enough to want peace over anything. Like, people really, there's no way that you don't argue or you don't debate. I don't. You got it. Like, once I get to a point to where I feel like, oh, this is going to alter my emotion in a negative way and it's unnecessary, then all right, cool. Once I feel like it's becoming a negative argument or a negative conversation, it's over. I'm not gonna talk to you. I'm just not. If I feel like you're not understanding that, I'm going through something, or I feel like you're not understanding, I'm not going to yell. I'm not even going to try to explain. I've already told you, hey, this is what I got going on, yada, yada, whatever. I'm not going to argue with you. My expectation is that you understand, like I understand what you're going through. But if you don't, I just won't talk to you. Maybe a couple of days, maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of months, maybe I won't never talk to you again. But that's because I enjoy my peace and I'm done looking at the other perspective. I've always looked at the other perspective. I've always been the shortest. I've always been the youngest of my crew. I've always been the newcomer. I've always been these things. So I've always looked at other people's perspective. I don't care. There's one thing that, like I said, I don't know if it was the first podcast back or what, or when did I say it, but I don't care. And it's not, I don't care out of anger. I don't care out of malice. I don't care out of hatred or arrogance. I don't care because I don't have the time to care. I am in a position health-wise that if I stress too much, like a lot of people, you hear about it on TV, you hear about it or you see it in movies, like, oh, that person died of stress, or but you never know nobody personally that really is affected by stress in real time. I am. So knowing that, I cut it out quick. Is what it is. I got kids to take care of. I'm not about to be fighting you. I'm not about to be caring about your perspective because you want me to understand that you hurting me was just what it is. You don't get to hurt me. You don't get to hurt me and then say, well, I was going through this. Like, you don't get to come slap me because you had a bad day. You don't, like, I didn't do nothing to you. You don't, like, and now I'm learning that because you are taught in society, oh, you got to be there. Like, you got to be a good friend. You got to be a good partner. So you take all this stuff and it's like, wait, well, huh? No. That's not how it's supposed to be. I'm learning that through this battle of trying to get my mental back solid so that I can be who I'm supposed to be and feel good. And I have to, even doing this podcast right now, like I haven't been feeling good for days, for weeks. But my brother's always hyping me, Peanut, man, you got to do it. You can't stop, man. You got to make sure you got to make sure that you're consistent. You got to make sure that whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, you got to just stay consistent. And then I'm thinking, if I'm sitting here and I'm feeling this way and I'm going through depression, my daughter died and, I haven't seen my eldest daughter and I don't know how long. And, I have this situation where my mom don't understand this. My dad don't understand that. And I'm thinking, like, how many people are out there struggling and feeling like they by themselves that nobody understands? I'm not God. I'm not the all-seer of the universe. I'm not any of that. But it's one thing about me, I understand. I've made it a point to elevate my level of understanding. Because there's a lot of people who go through what I'm going through and feel how I feel, but no one gets it. You just, oh, you're mean. Oh, you don't want to do nothing with nobody and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, nah, my peace is more important. it's more important for me to chill in silence and I can meditate and I can chill than it is for me to show my face to people and be phony. But before I start really believing in myself, oh yeah, I'll go anywhere. I'll go anywhere. Oh, hey, how you doing? In my mind, I'm like, I don't want to be here. Y'all don't even like me. I don't even like me. But then you start growing. You start going through things like divorce. And you start going through things like your kids talking back and challenging. You start going through things like losing your job. You start going through things like losing cars and homes and real life, and things start happening. And then it's like no one's there but you. So it's like, why you not taking care of you? Why you not believing in you so much that nothing even matters? I tell people now the hardest thing for me to do was learn how to live by myself without a relationship. I'm gonna be honest, I'm a serial relationship, however you say it. Like I'm just a person, like I was built for relationships. It just is what it is. I don't care, judge me. I'll be in love with somebody this week. If we break up in a month, I'll probably be in love with somebody else, because for me, I love hard because I don't know when that junk gonna end. And when it ends, I want to make sure that you know I gave you every ounce of love that I could give you before it was over. I don't hate you when it's over. We break up and these things happen, mistakes happen, and it's just one of those things that it just is what it is. But it took me to learn how to stand up on my own too without a relationship. It took me to say I don't need a relationship right now and learn these things. I tell people all the time, if I'm in a relationship, it's a relationship that I want, because I don't need a relationship. I can cook, I can clean, all those things that quote unquote women are supposed, like society tell you women are for, I can do that. I want company. I want companionship. I want laughter. I want somebody to rub my stomach. I want somebody to sit here to eat the food that I cook. You see what I'm saying? I want somebody to be able to get me to go on a walk here and there. I want somebody to be able to understand, like, I know it has nothing to do with me, but I know something's off, so I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna be patient there. I need somebody to understand, like, all right, I've been patient, nothing's come from it. Hey, what's going on? You straight? You good? That comes with learning how to believe in yourself. That comes with understanding who you are supposed to be. That comes with understanding your perspective and your place in the life that you're building. It's one thing that I don't care, and I'm saying this, and I don't want to sound arrogant, because again, I'm not at a level of chemical imbalance to where I can't feel when the depression hits, right? Some people are at a level of depression that, they get the suicidal thoughts. They actually go through with suicide. I'm not at that level. Luckily, I'm at a level to where no matter how hard it hits me, and no matter how difficult it is, and it's really, really difficult, I'm at a level where I can keep fighting. I'm at a level to where I can feel it hitting. I tell the kid, hey, gotta chill, because I don't want them, I don't want to be the person that comes in and slaps them because I had a bad day, and then tell them, you gotta understand my perspective. I'm depressed. That don't got nothing to do with them. That's how life is. People will come and they will hurt you and they will do these things. And then when you say, hey, that hurt me, but you gotta understand I'm going through something. No, you gotta understand that you're not gonna do me like that. You gotta understand that now you're like, you have lost your opportunity to have perspective with me. It's no longer about anyone else's perspective. Like I wrote one of the definitions down, and it's perspective is defined as the interrelation in which a subject or its parts are mentally viewed. And that really messed with me, because I am a person who is a thinker. I'm a person who I like mental, these mental tests and puzzles, and I like to piece things together, stuff like that, regardless of what I'm going through. That's something that I've always liked. And I think about that. Like, I read that, and it's like people really will go out of their way harming you and hide behind perspective. And when you're weak, you allow it. And I'm not saying weak like you're a coward. I'm saying weak like you don't even know. You're not even capable of grasping what's happening, because you're a lover, because you're a giver, because you will do anything for peace. You don't realize your whole life has been someone else's perspective. So for me, that don't matter no more. It doesn't matter what you see. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what you think. No matter what I'm going through, I'm moving in my perspective. I'm moving in how I see things. As long as I'm respectful to you, and I know that sounds crazy. I know it sounds crazy. But I've earned the right to live my life from my perspective now. I've earned that right. In relationships and friendships, I've always dimmed who I am, always. Not because I was asked to. That's just how the cookie crumbled. I am just a calm person until I'm not. I chill, and I'm gonna let you do what you're gonna do. I was a person who go out of my way, no matter how much you hurt me, to apologize that you hurt me, or to apologize for you hurting me. I've always been that person. I've always been that person to go out of my way to make sure everything is all right, no matter how much I've been hurting. Because when I say I'm hurt, the response is, you got to understand how I see it. You got to understand my perspective. You got to understand, well, I was going through this, or this was happening, and then you said this, and that triggered this, and then boom, 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 boom. And it's like, okay, cool, but it's me. If you love me like you say you love me, if we are as cool as you say we are, why is this happening? I tell my people this because I am going through a lot, right? And sometimes they won't say things to me because they're like, man, I know you're going through a lot, and I don't want to bother you with this, and I don't want to bother you with that. And I tell them this because, again, I'm a person of understanding. I tell them it's not always my time. It's not always my turn. I am going through a whole lot. I am. I'm not going to front. But some days it's not for me to speak. It's unhealthy to be in friendships and relationships, even with the kids. It's unhealthy for anything to be one-sided. But if I go out of my way to understand your perspective, I want you to make sure that you understand mine, because I'm at the position now that if you don't, you run the risk of losing me. And I've learned that I am a commodity. I think that's how you use that word. I've learned that I am a very important piece of certain people's lives. I'm a very important piece to a lot of people's life that I have no idea. But knowing that, you have to now meet me at the table with equal value. I'm not playing with my peace anymore. I'm not playing with my life anymore, as a result, especially as a result to my mental. I'm not playing anymore. I'm not. I'm going through so much mentally, and I'm fighting so much mentally, and so much pain, and so much confusion, and so much hurt. I am no longer accepting lesser value of respect, lesser value of perspective. We come and we meet. If you don't get that perspective, then you got to go. I put in work for this. I put in work for this piece. I put in work to sit on this side of calm, this side of tranquility, this side of peace. I put in work for that. I sat through, oh, he's mean, he's crazy. Oh, he don't like this, he's controlling, he's this. I sat through all of that just so I can fight my way to this side of peace. I'm not giving it up. I'm not giving up my peace for anything, for anybody, no matter what I'm going through. I fight daily with myself. That is enough. I fight daily just trying to get the kids to do regular stuff. That's enough for me. That's my chaos. That is the only chaos that I accept in my life, is me fighting with my kids. I enjoy that because that's my peace. They get on my nerve. They do their exact job, but they understand. I'm teaching my kids different. They're humans. I want them to be prepared for life. I don't want them to go through the same mental struggles that I had to go through. I don't want them to later on in life be depressed about something because they never got to express this or express that, or they grew up in a culture where, people don't understand what depression is and and kids can't be depressed and, oh, you just got an attitude, this, that, and the other. So it's like, that's the only chaos that I'm willing to deal with. So it's important to you guys who are listening, to you guys who are watching on YouTube, it's important that you value yourself and you respect yourself enough and you fight for your peace and you believe in who you are no matter what. And you start making people understand that no matter if you're going through mental health issues, no matter if you're going through any type of issues, no matter if you're just a regular person and you just feel that people take you for granted or people try to run over you, you have to understand that your peace is the most valuable thing that you own besides air. And once you realize that, and once you fight and you get on that other side of that wall and you stand in that peace and you accept it and you get comfortable in that peace by yourself. Don't allow people, I don't allow people in my peaceful space, because I have to learn to operate that by myself. So no matter who comes and goes, that still is intact. I can't let you help me get peace. I can't let you help me love myself. I can't let you help me be happy. Because then when you gone, I'm going to be looking for the next person. That's what I learned about why I'm just relationship, no break in between or very minimal break in between. Because I had to learn how to be in peace and be in love and be in happiness and be in hurt and be in pain and be in confusion and be in all these things by myself, so that it doesn't matter whether I'm arguing with my kids, my parents, my siblings, my friends, partner, work, school, no matter anything, vendors, design, no matter what, that don't affect me. It annoys me to the level that it's supposed to annoy me as a human being, but it doesn't alter my peace. It doesn't alter my love. It doesn't alter who I'm meant to be. So I encourage y'all, no matter what, no matter how dark it gets, no matter how hard it rains, no matter what, I encourage y'all to get to the light. Because no matter what, no matter how hard it gets, no matter how far you got to trek, no matter how high the mountain is, it's all going to make sense in the end. And understand it's your perspective that matters. Good night.